Would everyone note this image behind me? This is MBA's new head of security, Randy Kroll, with a 7th grader on a rainy day last week. And the image was striking to me because, like a lot of institutions and schools, there has been concern about security. And because MBA is such an open campus, that concern has been heightened. So we just hired a full-time armed security guard. And the first photograph I received of Randy was his helping a 7th grader whose book bag fell apart and all his books dropped on the ground in the rain. And I think it probably speaks about a topic I want to talk about caring for and being thoughtful about boys as they grow and as we work with them here. The next image is Frank Burkholder. I assume a number of you in this room knew Frank, but I would probably wager not many of you knew him extremely well. Graduated from MBA in 1956. He was a regular on this campus. He did not want to have elaborate conversations with people like me about fundraising. In fact, it was never a topic we spoke about. I knew Frank's privacy and respected it. And it was a remarkable moment when David Ingram called me in December of 2017. I was at a faculty party for faculty children. Minna sponsors this party where we give the children books, and I was in there with some silly Christmas sweater on, and I got this amazing phone call from David, and I could not tell anybody at the party, and I'm sure it was, and I know it will always be one of the most memorable moments of my life. Ever since Walter Annenberg gave that gift to the Petty School in the 1980s, I had dreamed of a school like ours getting a gift of that size. But, I never had put in focus what probably is most remarkable about that gift. In fact, I've not found another one like it. And that is that the gift was unrestricted. When Walter Annenberg gave his gift to Petty, it was very clearly set to say each dollar will be spent this way. Frank's gift was simply a gift to MBA. He essentially said to us, this is for you, you do with it what you think best. It reflected Frank's trust in the school, I think, in the sense that he believed MBA is a good investment, something that I hope all of you will always feel the same about. The gift also reflected his humility and unpretentiousness. He never wanted anyone to know what he was doing for MBA. When he came upstairs annually to give a $100,000 annual fund gift, the last person he wanted to see was somebody like me. He simply wanted to give his gift and express that he appreciated MBA. I think this story speaks to us as a school, that we want to do a fantastic job with this generosity, that we want to be humble and unpretentious. We want to work hard for gifts, and we want to let people know that we are grateful for them. So that, I hope, will always be MBA's response, an unyielding commitment to building a greater and greater school and better boys with complete humility. It is the education here that should always be of primary interest. And it's an education that shouldn't be about, as David Brooks says, it should not be about your resume, but more of the obituary virtues. An education focused not just on college, as I said to the seniors earlier this year. I said to them when we started the school year that 25 years ago, I would have said, we're primarily a college preparatory school. I don't really believe that. I believe we're primarily a school that should build better people. And we should spend our time thinking about how we can develop the inner lives of the boys here, their character, their integrity, their compassion, their gentleness, their goodness, and that this education should not just be for 4 or 6 years, but for 60 or 80. Last week at this podium, one of my former students spoke about his receiving financial aid at MBA. It was a named scholar breakfast that we held. I was incredibly proud of Michael as there he is above, as he spoke at the podium. He articulated beautifully what I think about the MBA education. He said, MBA is a gift of opportunity, and that opportunity is best placed in the hands of those who would make the most of it. It does not matter whether you go home to sleep at night in Belmead or Bellevue, in Brentwood or Bordeaux. MBA is the right place for you if you want what we have and are willing to work for it. This morning, I spent some time with my advisees, as I normally do. Ian, on your left, is a senior here at MBA, and he's actually with his younger brother Sam in that picture, who's in the 7th grade. Ian's an exceptional person. He lost his dad about 5 or 6 years ago to lung cancer. And Ian came in this morning to show me his college essay. He had sent me a draft about a week ago, and I knew it was hurried, and I suggested that he work on it a little bit differently. And I should add that Ian's quite the football player. He was actually the Titan Player of the Week last week. He had 12 tackles and 6 tackles for a loss and 4 sacks, so he had a big day, a big grin on his face when he came into advisory. We had the Tennessean picture there for him. But it's not his football playing that I really like, it's his character. Let me read his last paragraph of his college essay. As I suit up to take the football field on Friday nights, I have to prepare my mind to compete with intensity and ferocity. While on the field, I become a machine-like player of the game. But that intensity does not define me. My father's lessons extend beyond the field. His benevolence, empathy, and understanding are the lasting influences on me. He consistently emphasized that I should be more than just a football player. In a powerful way, my father transcended the yokes of his profession. His father worked for the Titans. Machines that kept him alive. His father had lung cancer and was on a machine for 6 years. And the transitory nature of this human world. His spirit has prevailed to allow me to see and to live more fully, to embrace my manhood with an understanding of the strength of real masculinity and gentleness. As Pete said a few moments ago, I am also very excited about the athletic and wellness buildings and all of the capital possibilities. Every boy here, as you said, will have more opportunities. We've been intentional about our building, thinking about the athletic piece last, as we do with the priorities we have in the Gentleman Scholar Athlete motto. I think there's incredible opportunity to deal with questions like mental health, the topic I think is probably the greatest issue really on our plates these days, not just here at MBA, but in our society. I am thrilled with the endowment that I know we've already developed through Frank's gift and generosity. What we've done with the annual fund, as Byron said, and our hope for bequest and buildings. But now, 25 years into this job, having seen Frank's gift, having seen the school develop its property tremendously, been part of the 150th year, understanding very intensely what this culture means, I think, to people here, and seeing, as one parent said to me this morning, they love the fact that boys support one another in different areas. And I said, I agree with you, but I think what I like most is that in a room like my advisory, somebody like Julian, whose parents are here tonight, who loves debate, somebody like Ian, who plays football, somebody else who swims, somebody else who is a great student, they can all get together and support one another, and it's that culture that I think creates a real community. Having now looked a little bit in the rearview mirror about cancer, seeing a wedding for our daughter in a church across the street just about 10 days ago, and now knowing that we've got this gift, we've got this campaign, this momentum that Byron talked about, there is a serendipity that for me seems somewhat spiritual, somewhat as though the timing of all these forces are in the right zone for MBA to really see the horizon. And these gifts, this property, this confidence, those are all great things, but it should be a great reminder tonight to me and to all of you to think about the image that I showed you of our security guard with that 7th grader, and now with Ian and his brother, that should continue to be our focus.